Writing different equations, notes. Virginia SOL 8.6. The student will graph linear equations and linear inequalities in two variables, including determining the slope of the line when given an equation of the line, the graph of the line, or 2 points on the line. Slope will be described as rate of change and will be positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Again, pause the video if need be in order to write this down. Linear equations can be written in a variety of forms. We have the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. We have the standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers and a is positive. We have the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times the parentheses x minus x1, where m is the slope and x1, y1 is a given point. We have the vertical line where x, the variable, equals a, where a is a number. Remember bucks. And we have a horizontal line where y equals b, where b is a number. Think hoy. We will start with the slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. You use this form if you are given the slope and the y-intercept. For example, if the slope is 5 and the y-intercept is 7, then all you need to do is take out the 5 and the 7 and replace it for the m and the b. So we would, remember, substitute in the y, the 5 for m, and the 7 for b. So all we got to do is write y equals 5x plus 7. And remember, the 5 is the same thing as a rise of run is the rise and run of 5 is the rise of run of 5 over 1. If we are given the m is -2 and the b is 3, again, we give you the slope and the intercept. So again, we would just say y equals -2x minus 3. Again, you just replace the b and the m with what numbers they are. Or you might be given the equation, the slope is 4 and the point is 0, 3. The point 0, 3 is the intercept point. So remember, if it starts with a 0, then 3, that is on the y-axis. So again, we would write y equals 4x plus 3. Next, we'll look at the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times the parentheses x minus x sub 1, where m is the slope and xy is a given point. Use when you're given the slope and a point, and that point is not the y-intercept. So for instance, we have the slope is 1/2 and the point is 4/6. So again, you're going to replace the y1, the m, and the x sub 1. So all you got to do is just make sure that you replace those with the appropriate numbers. So we would say y equals, try that again, y equals, one more time, y minus the value of y6 in the point equals 1/2 parentheses x minus 4. That is all you need to do. Just replace the y1, m, and the x1 with the value. That is an equation. In example number 2 here, I gave you the slope is -2 and the point is -2, -3. Again, all you've got to do is replace the y, the m, and the x. But remember, you're replacing the variables, not the subtractions. So this would be y minus -3 equals -2 for the slope, x minus the -2. So in both of these cases, the minus a negative is going to become plus plus a positive plus plus here and plus plus here. So again, those are going to become positives because minus the negative is positive. You can change the point-slope form of an equation to the slope-intercept by solving for y. So here's what we would do first. We would need to distribute for the parentheses, so that we're trying to solve for y here. So we're going to distribute first, and then we are going to solve for y. So we would rewrite it as y plus 3 equals negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and a negative 2 times the 2 is a minus 4. Right now it's y plus 3, so y is not by itself, so we would have to subtract 3 here and subtract 3 here. So we would end up with y equals negative 2x minus 7. So now we have it in the slope-intercept form where the negative 2 is the slope and the negative 7 is my intercept. Again, this would be a decreasing line and with an intercept of negative 7 at the y-axis. We use this form to help us graph it quicker. So remember, we have a quick way of graphing when it's in the slope-intercept form. You can change the slope point form of an equation into standard form by first changing it to the slope-intercept form and then making all the coefficients of a, b, and c into integers and getting the x and y variables on the left side. Make sure that the a coefficient is positive in the end. So here's my example. Y minus 5 equals 3/4 times the parentheses x minus negative 7. Okay, so what we would need to do here is first distribute just like we did before. So we're going to say y, we will say y minus 5, distribute the 3/4 times both of those, so that'd be 3/4 x, and 3/4 times 7. I'm just going to multiply and leave it as a fraction, so that's going to be 21/4. Then we would add 5 to both sides to get it by itself. So y would equal 3/4 x plus 5. So I'm going to change that to fourths here. So that's 20/4. So negative 21/4 and 20/4 would be a negative 1/4 after we added both of those. So as I said earlier, you have to get rid of make all the coefficients integers. So what we would do here is multiply the whole thing by 4. We multiply everything by 4 because the fractions in the problem have denominators of 4. So the only way to get rid of fractions is to multiply by a number so that the fractions and the whole number, when multiplied, will get rid of each other. So again, you need to multiply everything by 4. So this becomes 4 times y, which is going to be 4y, equals 4 times 3/4, which ends up being 3x, and 4 times a negative 1/4 is a negative 1. So again, we've got all integers now, but we have to have the x and the y on the same side. And so if you look at the format here, the ax and by, notice the x and y are both on the left side of the equation. So right now the x is in the wrong spot. So I need to get rid of it from this side and put it over here to this side. And we get a negative 3x plus 4y equals the negative 1. And as I said earlier, we don't want, we want that a coefficient, which is the one next to x, to be a positive. So all you have to do is run a negative through now. And so you're going to make everything, so again, you're going to rewrite this as a positive coefficient. So we are going to write everything as, so we'll do 3x, negative is positive, the positive becomes a negative, and the last one, the negative becomes a positive. So that would be the ending standard form equation right here. So again, there is no fractions, it's all integers. The first one, the a, is positive, so right here we have a positive coefficient now, and we are in standard form. Vertical line is x equals a, where a is a number. Remember VUX. VUX stands for vertical line. It is undefined slope, and x, the x part means x equals a number. So if you look, we have a vertical line. Therefore, we have an undefined slope, because if you look at the slope, the rise could be anything. For instance, if I do 2 points here, I got a point here, and maybe a point here. My rise is 2 over a change of 0. That is undefined because 2 over 0 is, you can't divide that, so that's our undefined slope. And our x equals a number. All you got to do to find the number is find the x-intercept. So we're going to find for the x-intercept here. The x-intercept is right here at -3. So this is really easy to write the equation. X equals -3. Remember, bucks. Vertical, undefined, x equals a number. Pretty straightforward. Next one's a horizontal line where y equals b, and b is a number. So remember hoi. Hoi means you see a horizontal line. It is 0 slope, and the y means y equals a number. So again, if you look at 2 points on here, a point here and a point here, your rise would be 0 over 2, and that's going to equal 0 slope. And to find what the y is, you just again need to find the y-intercept, which is right there. So this y would equal 3. That would be the equation for this particular thing. So again, when you're trying to figure out what it is, remember the hoi and bucks. So if you have y equals a number, hoi, it's going to be horizontal, 0 slope, crossing at y equals 3. And for the bucks, it would be vertical, undefined, and x equals a number. And your math joke for today is a teacher put a student in the corner. And then somebody came in and says, "Why is that student in the corner?" And the teacher responded, "Oh, that student said he was cold, so I put him in the corner because it's always 90 degrees over there."